Hello, welcome to the TnT Thomas and Thomas Podcast, or Thomas Lindsey and Thomas Lindsey Podcast. Today we are going to be reading the Berkshire and Hathaway annual report. So, yeah, and let's just get into it. Let's see if there's any people in the chat. And here's Thomas Lindsey and Thomas Lindsey. I know the thumbnail's a little misleading for anybody new, because you are like, wait, these people look like the same person. That is actually the same person. It was actually just a thumbnail joke, but let's get into the reading. So I'll start off with the first part.
All right, well, let me say hi to everyone, too. Hi, everybody. I'm also Thomas Lindsey.
Yes. Alrighty.
All right, go ahead.
So, Berkshire. I might make you a little bit smaller.
That's fine. So this is the annual shareholders letter.
Yeah,
by
alright.
Warren Buffett for the year 2022. They came out in 2023.
Yes, alright. Berkshire and Hathaway Inc. To the shareholders of Berkshire and Hathaway Inc. Charlie Munger, my longtime partner. I have a job of managing, the savings of a great number of individuals. We are grateful for their enduring trust, a relationship that often spans much of their adult lifetime. It is those dedicated savers that are forefront in my mind as I write this letter.
A common belief is that people choose to save when young, expecting thereby to maintain their living standards after retirement. Any assets that remain at death, this theory says, will usually be left to their families or possibly to friends and philanthropy.
Our experiences have differed. We believe Berkshire's individual holders largely to be of the once a saver, always a saver variety. Though these people live well, they eventually dispense of most of their funds to philanthropic organizations. These turn into redistribute the funds by expenditures instead to improve their lives of great many people who are unrelated to the original benefactor. Sometimes the results have been spectacular.
So now, we didn't do a dry run of this beforehand.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you want me to handle. Do we have any viewers?
We have 2 viewers currently.
So, if you or I make a mistake in reading and the other one catches it, how should the person who catches it handle it?
That's a good question.
Like, do you want me to? Do we want to correct each other, or do we want to interrupt each other, or like how should that go?
I either correct or interrupt. I'm not sure. We'll figure it out.
All right. So, in your paragraph, it says these in turn redistribute the funds by expenditures intended to improve the lives of a great many people who are unrelated to the original benefactor. You read that it was the funds by expenditures instead, but not the word's not instead. The word is intended.
Intended. Okay.
There was also another error, but it was very small. I know it was earlier. That didn't really affect the meaning.
Okay.
But let me finish the next 2 paragraphs, and then we'll talk about that section.
Okay.
The disposition of money unmasks humans. Charlie and I watch with pleasure the vast flow of Berkshire-generated funds to public needs and, alongside, the infrequency with which our shareholders opt for look-at-me assets and dynasty building. Who wouldn't enjoy working for shareholders like ours? All right, so this is his introductory section, and he's talking about the shareholders of Berkshire Hathaway and how he's
First, sorry for interrupting. First, somebody's in the chat. Hey, what's up? Hopefully you're into business, because that's what we're talking about. Yeah, go ahead.
So what I take from this is he's saying that Berkshire Hathaway's individual holders are mostly people who save and when they save, they always save. So instead of them spending lots of money on huge houses or other like huge yachts or something, they save the money and then they distribute it to philanthropic causes or organizations.
Yeah, I mean I think that's a more noble cause than owning a private jet and yacht. I mean, I do want a nice place to live. Don't get me wrong, and a nice car, but you don't really need much more than that. If you have a nice place to live, the best nutrition of your life, and the nicest car that you want, then I think you're in a good spot. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right.
All right, I'll read
Let's
the next part. What we do. Charlie and I allocate your savings at Berkshire between two related forms of ownership. First, we invest in business that we control, usually buying 100% of each. Berkshire directs capital allocation at these subsidiaries and selects the CEOs who day by day operating decisions when at
who make day by day operating decisions.
who make day by day operate. Yeah, that it's good just to interrupt me. Then I think that's the way we should do.
Okay.
When large enterprises are being managed, both trust and rules are essential. Berkshire emphasizes the former to an unusual to yeah okay. Some would say that's extreme degree. Disappointments are inevitable. We are understanding about business mistakes. Our tolerance for personal misconduct is zero.
So normally I would want to continue reading the whole section and then go back and comment, but I kind of want to comment on that right now.
Okay.
First of all, anytime I read something that says the former, when it's referring to former, I usually have to go back and read and go, well, what was the former talking? So in this case, he says they emphasize the former to an unusual degree, talking about trust. That when large enterprises are managed, both trust and rules are essential. Berkshire emphasizes trust more, and some would say to an extreme degree than usual. So, and then he follows up by saying, business mistakes. Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger are understanding about business mistakes, but they have no tolerance for personal misconduct.
Yes.
Right. So
let me read.
Oftentimes when I read stuff, I'm like, well, what are they actually saying? I go back and, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean that's good for the podcast too, to explain. Let's see. In our second category of ownership, we publicly trade stocks through which we
buy publicly traded stock.
We buy publicly traded stocks, which we passively own pieces of businesses. Holding these investments, we have no say in the management. All right.
Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Our goal in both forms of ownership, and again, both meaning, again, when I read something, I'm like, well, what does it mean by both? Well, in this case, it means whether they hold 100% of a business or whether they own some publicly traded stocks of a business in which they own, a portion of the business because they own the stock. They don't own the company or the business. Okay, our goal in both forms of ownership is to make meaningful investments in businesses with both long-lasting favorable economic characteristics and trustworthy managers. Please note particularly that we own publicly traded stocks based on our expectations about their long-term business performance, not because we view them as vehicles for adroit purchases and sales. That point is crucial. Charlie and I are not stock pickers. We are business pickers.
Yeah, I think that's really important to be a business picker and not like, hey, day trade stocks. I think it's better to be like, hey, I believe in this company. For example, I invested in Capital One and I've made over a 30% return just because I like Capital One. I have their credit card. I've met the CEO. It's just been a wonderful experience with Capital One. So that's why I'm like, I love investing with them. So that's why I like that he says we're business pickers and not stock pickers. All right.
Yeah, I like that too. The stock market can go up or down quite wildly. In the short term, a lot of stocks, this is something that I've heard before. In the short term, a lot of stocks behave as popularity contest. But in the long term, it's like a weighing, like a scale. Like the long term strong businesses will outperform in the long term. And one more thing is when people are looking to buy stocks and they are trying to buy them when they're super low, they're trying to pick the bottom. So like Warren says that he and Charlie are not stock pickers but business pickers. Well, people who are playing the market, trying to time it, trying to get the bottom, well, they're bottom pickers. And if you pick the bottom, you might get a stinky finger.
I agree. Let's see. Um, so we're at over the years, right?
Right. Yeah. Anyway, so let's be business pickers, not stock pickers or
Bottom
pickers,
pickers.
or nose pickers. Or anything.
I think we need to clip that part and start sending that on YouTube Shorts. Don't be a bottom picker. Alright.
Bottom pickers get stinky fingers.
Yeah. Alrighty. Over the years, I have made many mistakes. Consequently, our extensive collection of businesses currently consists of a few enterprises that have truly extraordinary economics, many that enjoy very good economics characteristics, and a large group of that are marginal, right? Ugh. Along the way, other businesses which in I have invested have died, their products unwanted by the public, delivering a gusher.
Capitalism has two sides.
Oh, I missed the whole line. Yeah, capitalism has two sides. The system that creates an ever-growing pile of losers, which constructively delivers a gusher.
While concurrently.
Concurrently. Oh my goodness, it's real. Yeah, it is real. Person in the chat. This is an actual live stream. We're looking at the chat. We're reading it real. It's not pre-recorded. So yeah.
Well, you're looking at. Is this the chat over here? It's so tiny on my phone. So you're looking at the chat. I'm not really looking at it.
Yeah. Gusher of improved services called the phenomenon creative destruction. I can make it a little bigger.
Schumpeter called this phenomenon creative destruction, which was a game that you like to play almost too much.
Wait, what was that game? I don't even remember playing it.
What? Are you kidding me?
Let me look it up. Maybe I have.
Creative destruction?
Oh no, creative destruction. Yeah, I played it. I thought you were talking about Schumpeter.
No, not Schumpeter.
Oh, Schumpeter.
No. Yes. No, creative destruction. But Schumpeter's not he's not talking about the game creative destruction.
Of course he's not talking about the game creative destruction.
What they're talking about is the fact that capitalism creates a bunch of losers, and it also creates improved goods and services. That's what creative destruction is being.
Is that the guy type times on TikTok? They think you're a TikToker, Dad.
Oh, ni hao.
Ni hao. Okay, we're clipping that one too. That's hilarious. We're clipping that for TikTok.
All right, should I do the next two paragraphs?
Yeah, if that's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. One advantage of our publicly traded segment is that episodically it becomes easy to buy pieces of wonderful businesses at wonderful prices. It's crucial to understand that stocks often trade at truly foolish prices, both high and low. Efficient markets exist only in textbooks. In truth, marketable stocks and bonds are baffling. Their behavior is usually understandable only in retrospect. Do we need to talk about any of that? To me, that's pretty clear, but...
Yeah, that sounds clear to me.
Okay.
Chat, if you don't understand something, just interrupt us. But if you do, we currently have 3 viewers. It's just not a lot, but hey, it's something.
Yeah, this is this is our first go. It's all good. Controlled businesses are a different breed. They sometimes command ridiculously higher prices than justified, but are almost never available at bargain valuation. Unless under duress, the owner of a controlled business gives no thought to selling at a panic-type valuation. So again, he's talking about the two types of business ownership or investment that Berkshire Hathaway involves themselves in. One is 100% ownership of businesses, and the other is through ownership of pieces of businesses through publicly traded stocks.
Yes.
And he's saying that publicly traded stocks can command ridiculously high or ridiculously low prices, but that privately owned businesses or controlled businesses usually don't go through that sort of thing. And so he's just making the distinction between those two breeds of business, if you want to call them that.
Yeah. All right, guys. We're at 2 likes. One more like, guys. Let's get to 3. There's 3 people watching. One of you haven't liked. Okay. But besides that, let's go on to the next part. At this point, a report card from me is appropriate. In 58 years of Berkshire management, most of my capital allocation decisions have been no better than so-so. In some cases, also bad moves by me have been, what's that word? Rescued by large doses of luck. Remember, our escapes from near disasters in U.S. Air and Salmon? What?
Solomon.
I certainly do. What's Solomon?
Solomon was a investment house or a brokerage, like a financial firm. And I can't remember if they got in trouble before or after Warren either invested them partially or completely. That was, I don't know, maybe the 1980s.
I'm gonna look up Solomon. Oh, now they're a running shoes company. That's not the right company. Okay. Alright, I'm gonna read this next part just to make it easier because it's like part of the section, and then you can read the longer section if that's okay.
Go for it.
Yeah. Our satisfactory results have been the product of about a dozen truly good decisions that would be about 1 every 5 years, and sometimes a forgotten advantage that favors long-term investors such as Berkshire. Let's take a peek behind the curtain.
Okay, so when he talks about near disasters at U.S. Air and Solomon, I'm not familiar with the U.S. Air disaster, and the Solomon I'm only vaguely.
Should we look up U.S. Air disaster really quick? I think we should.
No. What I like to do in situations like this is just put it, what I call, on the shelf. So in the back of my mind, I'll be like, oh, that's something for me to look into later.
No, but for the podcast, I think it's good to look into it now. That's my opinion. All right, U.S. Air. Let's look at U.S. Air right now. U.S. Air, let's see. They were bought by American Airlines.
What I would recommend is looking for U.S. Airways Berkshire Hathaway.
I'm just looking at their Wikipedia page just so I know a little bit more about them.
Okay, well, that's like looking for a needle in a haystack to try to find the information relevant to this letter.
I just want to know about U.S. Air in general.
Well, yeah, they were a U.S. airline.
Yeah,
I don't know if
and they merged into American Airlines in 2015, so there's probably something that happened in between that. All right, let's go back. Alrighty.
Anyway, if you and I continue to read, if we read all of Berkshire Hathaway's annual letters or all of Warren Buffett's annual letters to shareholders, he'll probably talk about them when they occurred. You know what I mean?
Oh, okay. I didn't think about that.
So, like, if we go back through all 58 years of previous letters, I'm sure
we might do it. I think we should. We got this. Make a whole series.
All right. Well, let's see. We'll take them one at a time. But yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Good. That would.
I mean, that should be our goal for 2024 to get through all 58 letters. Is that a good goal?
I'm up for let's say, what's half of 58?
Let's just say 30 then.
30? Okay. I mean, I could go all the way back to like 1976 or something like that,
Okay, back to
or 1980. I don't know, somewhere around there.
yeah. Let's do 30. Let's make our goal 30 then, and then our like out of this world goal 58, depending on how well it's doing. What if we're making like $50 an hour reading letters?
Well, I mean, if we get some of Warren's wisdom downloaded into our brains, we might be making a lot more than that.
Yeah, who knows?
All right, so I'm going to continue with the next section. The secret sauce. In August 1994, so we should at least go back that far. That would be 30 years, right?
Oh yeah, that is 30 years, so at least that far. Yeah.
All right. In August 1994, yes, 1994, Berkshire completed its 7-year purchase of the 400 million shares of Coca-Cola we now own. The total cost was $1.3 billion, then a very meaningful sum at Berkshire, or Berkshire, however you want to call it. The cash dividend we received from Coke in 1994 was $75 million. By 2022, the dividend had increased to $704 million.
Oh my gosh, that's like how much they invested.
Well, it's about half of what or a little more than half of what they invested.
That's crazy.
Growth occurred every year, just as certain as birthdays. All Charlie and I were required to do was cash Coke's quarterly dividend checks. We expect that those checks are highly likely to grow. American Express, much the same story. Berkshire's purchase of Amex were essentially completed in 1995 and coincidentally also cost $1.3 billion. Annual dividends received from this investment have grown from $41 million to $302 million. Those checks, too, seem highly likely to increase. So from a dividend standpoint, it looks like Coca-Cola was way outperformed American Express.
Yeah.
These dividend gains, though pleasing, are far from spectacular, but they bring with them important gains in stock prices. At year-end, our Coke investment was valued at $25 billion, while MX was recorded at $22 billion. Each holding now accounts for roughly 5% of Berkshire's net worth, akin to its weighting long ago. So that's interesting. Coke not only outperformed American Express in dividend, but also in stock price gain.
Yeah.
Or stock price valuation, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Assume for a moment I had made a similarly sized investment mistake in the 1990s, one that flatlined and simply retained its $1.3 billion value in 2022 or 2022. An example would be a high-grade 30-year bond. That disappointing investment would now represent an insignificant 0.3% of Berkshire's net worth and would be delivering to us an unchanged $80 million or so of annual income. Lesson for investors. We wither away in significance as the flowers bloom. Over time, it takes just a few winters to work wonders. And yes, it helps to start early and live into your 90s as well.
Let's do it. Live until our 90s or even 100.
Yeah, 120.
120. That's the goal for me. I gotta eat grapes every morning though if I'm gonna live to 120.
I haven't read it, but I heard about a book called The Grape Cure, and it was all about this woman who said you could like cure almost anything with grapes.
Well, that's why Egypt, so many pharaohs ate grapes all the time.
Oh, is that why?
I mean, that's my opinion. I mean, I don't know for real, but yeah.
Is it okay for me to eat on the?
I've been eating the whole time. Yeah. Mukbang as well. All right. Where were we at?
The past year.
Oh, okay.
See that part?
Yeah, I see that past year. The past year in brief. Berkshire had a good year in 2022. The company operation earning our term for income calculated using generally accepted accounting practices GAAP. Principles exclusive of capital gains or losses from equity holdings. Andrew Tate, what's up in the chat? Oh my gosh, we have Andrew Tate in the chat. Not actually Andrew Tate, but somebody named Andrew Tate. Oh my goodness. Setting a record at $30.8 billion. Charlie and I focus on this operational figure. I can be your worker. What do you mean by that? Do you want to be on the podcast? I mean, if you want to be on the podcast, let me know. I'll give you my Discord. I'll actually give you my website right now, thomaslindsey.org. So just go to thomaslindsey.org if you want to contact me. I have LinkedIn, I have Instagram, I have Discord on there. So yeah, go to thomaslindsey.org. So yeah. There you go, bro. There's thomaslindsey.org for you. Alrighty. We got a little bit distracted. No, it's Arabic. How do you say that? Acrobatic?
Are you reading from the letter or from chat?
From the letter. Noted is a aerobatic behavior in 2022, which is...
Well, note it's acrobatic behavior.
Yeah, which is in no way unusual. Alrighty.
I'm going to explain this because it might not be clear.
I have no idea what I just said. I'm going to be honest.
Okay. So he's talking about the company's operating earnings. So what that means is how much did the company get in income excluding capital gains from losses or losses from equity holdings. So what are capital gains or losses from equity holdings? If you own stock in, for example, Capital One, and the price of the stock goes up or it goes down, well, those would be gains or losses for equity holdings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure that a couple of years ago, I don't know if it was the SEC, but some organization within the government required large companies to report their GAAP earnings, generally accepted accounting principles earnings, and that includes capital gains or losses. But Warren does not like that. He's like, you know, if stock I'm holding goes wildly up or goes wildly down, that doesn't really affect Berkshire's business materially from a day-to-day basis. Like just that stock, like the stock market just went crazy on that stock for some reason. And so while he reports that because he's required to, he's saying here in the letter that he wants his shareholders to really focus on operating earnings, which is how much Berkshire earns through its through buying and selling things, but not counting capital gains losses. Does that make sense? Do you follow my explanation of what he's saying here?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because if he doesn't do that, then that number that they're required to report can fluctuate wildly, and that's what he shows in the next table. He shows four quarters, 2022 quarter 1, 2, 3, 4, and in the next column you see operating earnings, and there, it's anywhere between 6.7 and 9.3 billion dollars.
Yeah.
But if you look at the next column, the GAAP earnings required to report, they're anywhere from negative 43.8 billion to positive 18.2 billion. That's a difference of over 60 billion dollars, like the swing.
Yeah. Okay, what's your question in the chat? What's your question, Andrew Tate? Yeah. Okay, we'll wait for him to ask the question.
Well, I'm going to keep reading the next paragraph because it just ties in with what I'm saying.
Yeah, you can read the next paragraph.
And when he comes back, it's all good. We'll, answer the question. So the GAAP earnings, and what are the GAAP earnings?
GAAP earnings is the earnings that you report to the government.
Right, they are the generally accepted accounting principles earnings.
Yeah.
And you're right. They're the ones that are required to report. So the GAAP earnings are 100% misleading when viewed quarterly or even annually. Capital gains, to be sure, have been hugely important to Berkshire over past decades, and we expect them to be meaningfully positive in future decades. But their quarter-by-quarter gyrations, regularly and mindlessly headlined by media, totally misinform investors.
All right. He asked this question. He wants to know a good side hustle. I mean, do you have a car, Andrew Tate? That's my first question. And how old are you? Because if you don't have a car, and you don't have a car, okay. And if you're young, then I recommend either trying to sell, like, Mark Cuban, for example, he sold trash bags to his neighborhood, so you could work on your door-to-door skills through that, or you could go door-to-door and ask people to mow their lawn and see if you can do lawn services. I mean, you will have to get a little bit of an investment for a lawnmower, but landscaping and selling trash bags or selling candy, that's what I did. Is I don't know if you're in school right now, but if you are, I sold a lot of candy, and that was a great side hustle. You just got to make sure you don't get caught. So yeah.
Selling candy at school?
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I mowed lawns, and I just used the people's lawnmower. I went to their house, and they already had a lawnmower.
Yeah. Or you could find people who just already have lawnmowers and be like, hey, $20, let me use your lawnmower, I'll mow your lawn, and I'll do it once a month. Just get a customer base, get a client base. You're gonna sell some candy? Let's go, bro. Okay, so here's what I recommend for selling candy, right? I don't know if you have Costco, but if you don't have Costco, I recommend selling packs of gum. And since there's been inflation, I used to sell it for $1. Probably gonna have to sell it for $2 now. So packs of gum for $2. Buy them in bulk, and then either through Amazon. Let's actually go on Amazon. Let's see how much gum in bulk is, or Jolly Ranchers. Gum is banned in your school. What about Jolly Ranchers? Jolly Ranchers were very popular for me. I would do 10 Jolly Ranchers for $1, okay? And let me see if I can find something good. Alright, let me give you the link. Oh, why is the link so long? Okay. Just look this up on Amazon. And I would get this. I don't know how many 46 ounces of Jolly Ranchers are. I kind of wish I was still in school for this. So, let's see. Let's look this
46 up. Ounces is just under 3 pounds.
Under 3 pounds?
Yeah, it's 2 pounds. Almost 2 pounds. 2 pounds. But I don't know how many.
There's about 165 pieces, so, and it's $11. So I would sell 5 for $1. Oh, you're not America? What country are you from? Yeah. Philippines. Oh, you're from the Philippines. Oh, well, I don't know. Then Amazon might not be your best bet. Here's what I recommend. Buy candy and sell it for twice the amount that you buy it for. Or 3 times the amount you buy it for. Okay? In school. So, I don't know.
Do your viewers know your story of selling candy in school?
I don't think most of my viewers do know that, but I want to focus on this for right now, unless the viewers... Hey, Dad, we're at 6 viewers! This is exciting! Woo!
Alright.
We're getting some viewers! Hey, viewers, we love engaging in the chat, so if you guys could just like and subscribe and type your questions, we would love that, new viewers. So, yeah. Alrighty. So yeah, figure that out and sell it for 2 to 3 times the amount you buy it for, and you should be good, bro. Like I was a little more aggressive, and in some ways I regret it, but in other ways I just wanted to be a popular kid at school. I just wanted to network with as many people as possible. So I sold candy for the cheap. I made like 9 or 10 cents per dollar instead of twice my money per dollar, just because I was trying to network as much as possible. So if you're trying to network, do it for a really cheap amount. If you're trying to make money, do it for 2 or 3 times the amount. So yeah, up to you. I don't know how old you are and what your school is like, but hopefully you don't get caught, and hopefully it's a good experience for you. Alrighty.
I think you could write an e-book on your candy selling experiences.
Yeah, for sure. Or at least do a fun podcast episode.
Oh, yeah, we'll do that too. All right, should we return to the letter?
Yeah, let's return to the letter.
I think we're almost halfway through the letter.
All right, yeah.
How long has the podcast been going on so far?
The podcast has been going on for 35 minutes.
Okay, so let's see if we can finish this in less than 30 minutes.
Yeah. Well, let's make it
30,
about an hour, the podcast.
Okay, 25 minutes. Let's do it.
Well, about an hour to me means anywhere from an hour to an hour and 20 minutes.
All right. Shall I continue?
Yeah.
A second positive development for Berkshire last year was our purchase of Allegheny Corporation, a property casualty insurer captained by Joe Brandon. I've worked with Joe in the past, and he understands both Berkshire and insurance. Allegheny delivers special value to us because Berkshire's unmatched financial strength allows its insurance subsidiaries to follow valuable and enduring investment strategies unavailable to virtually all competitors. I'm going to keep going. Aided by Allegheny, our insurance float increased during 2022 from $147 billion to $164 billion. With disciplined underwriting, these funds have a decent chance of being cost-free over time. Since purchasing our first property casualty insurer in 1967, Berkshire's float has increased 8,000-fold through acquisitions, operations, and innovation. Though not recognized in our financial statements, this float has been an extraordinary asset for Berkshire. New shareholders can get an understanding of its value by reading our annually updated explanation of float on page A2.
Alrighty. I'm going to read the next three, okay?
Well, I want to talk about these two paragraphs very briefly.
Okay. Talk about the paragraphs first, though. Okay.
All right. I'm not suggesting anybody go read the explanation of float on page A2, but do you know what float is?
I do not know what float is. Neither does most of the chat, probably.
All right. So I would recommend. I mean, maybe you could do it right now. Just look it up on Google or something. Define insurance float or something like that. I would give it the definition as it's the amount of money that the insurer collects from the premium of their customers before they have to return those premiums as insurance payouts to the customer.
This is what it says on Google. I think your explanation was fine, but we'll see. Basically, float refers to money that is rightfully ought to be paid to the claimants, but remains, for whatever reason, in possession of the insurer.
That's what it says?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so what that allows insurance companies to do is invest that money. And so they've collected those premiums, and the time between collecting the premiums and then having to pay out that money for a claim, they're able to invest it and make a return. And so what Berkshire and Hathaway is saying here, what Warren's saying is that they have $104 billion of that.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's a lot of money.
There's another question. Thomas, what can I do for promotion brands? Hey, you work in the Philippines, right? I use World Remit, and I can pay you if you are willing to edit our podcast or make YouTube shorts for a podcast. Just let me know, bro. You got my email on the website. You got Discord, and hopefully we can work together. Mr. I don't know your actual name, but we'll just call you Andrew Tate for right now. So yeah, because we love. No, you don't need PayPal. We can use World Remit. It's basically a service where we can send you money internationally. See, look, PHP. So let's say you earn $9 with us because you do a lot of good work. We'll give you 489 PHP. I don't know how much that's worth in your country, but if that's worth a good amount, then hey, let's work together, bro. Okay? 9 hours, and you do like we'll pay you $9 for 18 YouTube shorts. Okay? So if you can make good YouTube shorts and clip them together through our channel, we're willing to work with you. So yeah. Alrighty. Let's see, I'll read the next three. Very minor gain in per share intrinsic value took place in 2022 through Berkshire share repurchases, as well as similar moves at Apple and American Express, both significantly investees of ours. At Berkshire, we directly increase your interest of our unique collection of business by repurchasing 1.2% of the company outstanding shares. At Apple and Amex, repurchases increase to Berkshire's ownership without any cost to us.
Okay, I'm just going to interrupt here and say that I didn't interrupt on a couple of different mistakes there, but they were insignificant. So
Yeah, okay.
I think the meaning was still clear enough. So go ahead.
Yeah, the math isn't complicated. When the share count goes down, your interest in many business goes up. Every small bit helps if repurchases are made at a value. How do you say that word?
Accretive.
Accretive. What does accretive mean?
Accretive means something is adding to itself, like it's gaining, it's adding.
Okay. Accretive prices is just as surely when a company overpays for repurchases, the continuing shareholders lose. At such times, gains flows to only the selling shareholders to the friendly but expensive investment bankers who recommend the foolish purchases. Can
I interrupt you?
Yeah.
All right. Do you understand what he's saying in these two paragraphs before we go to the third paragraph?
So basically, he repurchases more shares in companies if he likes what he sees with the company, right?
Well, he is in charge of Berkshire Hathaway, so he can repurchase Berkshire Hathaway company stock. And then in companies that he's invested in, like Apple and American Express, they can repurchase their company stock. And he's saying if they buy them at a good price, then that's a really good deal for the remaining shareholders, because the remaining shareholders, their percentage increase in the company increases. Do you understand how that works?
Okay, no. I'm sorry.
All right, so let's say a company has 200 shares outstanding.
Yeah.
And the company has some money, and it looks and sees that the shares seem to be cheap.
Yeah.
So the company goes out and buys its own shares.
Okay, now I'm understanding.
Let's say this is something that probably would not happen in real life, but it makes the illustration a little easier. Let's say the company goes out and buys 100 of the 200 shares that are out there.
Yeah.
How many shares are left out there?
100.
100. So let's say you owned 20 shares when there were 200 shares out there. When there were 200 shares out there, how much of the company did you own?
200 shares, 10%.
10%. But then the company went out and bought 100 shares. So now what percentage of the company own? You still only own 20 shares, but what percentage of the company do you own?
Oh, well, it went down to 100, right? So it's 20%?
Right.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And you didn't do anything. It's the company that rebought its shares. So your ownership interest in the company went up.
Yeah.
Now, he doesn't talk about it here in the letter, I don't think, but the reverse is also true with when companies issue new shares.
Mm-hmm.
The percentage of the company that the existing shareholders owns goes down.
That happens with stock splits, right? Sometimes?
No, stock splits typically don't, when they split the share, let's say 2-1.
Yeah.
Yes, there are twice as many shares, but almost always the share price gets cut in half too. Although sometimes people get all excited, so they push the price up a little bit. But in theory, the value of the company hasn't changed at all. They're not issuing new shares. They're just saying, if you held 100 shares before, like in our example, let's say you own 20 shares out of 200, right?
Yeah, that's 10%.
In a stock split, let's say a 2-1 stock split, they say, okay, well now we have 400 shares.
Right, you'd go up to 40, right?
Exactly.
Oh, and that's still 10%. Okay, that makes sense.
But when a company issues new shares,
Well, how do they issue new shares? I don't understand how they can just do that.
well, I mean, I haven't been involved with that personally, so I can't speak from experience. But my understanding of it is that they announce that they're going to do that, and then if the shareholders approve it,
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
then then the company goes to the stock market and just says, okay, we're selling these new shares. You know, is anyone willing to buy them?
Yeah.
So, you know, a tricky thing is that a lot of companies, the voting power is with one person or a minority, and so you may be a shareholder in a company, but
You don't have
your
enough
vote,
voting power.
yeah, you're not going to be able to meaningfully affect the vote because you don't have enough voting.
Yeah, makes sense. I'm gonna share out the stream a little bit right now. Just share it with a couple more people.
Okay.
So yeah, just so we get some more people because I think this is valuable. I'm gonna join the Discord really quick. Hey guys, if you want to be rich, join my live stream. Okay,
Thomas,
guys.
did you get
If you want to be rich,
Okay,
join my live stream.
Cutie,
Wait,
I
hold on.
got you.
Okay.
What, Thomas?
Oh
You
my
said-
god,
If
it's
you want to
Thomas
be
Lindsey,
rich,
it's Thomas
listen to
Lindsey,
this.
it's
This
Thomas
is what rich
Lindsey.
people talk about. Thank you. Okay.
The TnT Podcast.
wait,
Are we talking about
Steph.
Minecraft?
Yo, that
You'll find out. You gotta watch it.
Hey, Thomas, you got a bed, right?
I'm not sure. Let me check.
You didn't check?
Yeah, I'm gonna check now.
Because apparently 3 days, if it's your first time getting a bed for cross training, 3 days.
We'll see if they're that nice to
Someone
me.
told me it's 7 days.
It
Oh,
might
but
be
on the-
7.
You've
It
got
might be
this,
7.
Thomas.
No,
Ah,
the Discord service list has 3 days for the first offense. I
Yo,
don't know.
what's your YouTube name, Tommy?
It's Thomas Lindsey.
Thomas.
Thomas
Thomas
Lindsey.
Lee.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I
I'm
did
still
it. I
banned.
can't find him.
You said what, Thomas?
Yeah, I'm still banned, unfortunately. All right, I gotta go back to my podcast, but you guys enjoy, and hopefully you can just listen to this in the background while you're playing Pets and get rich, bro.
No, I'll play Fortnite right now.
Or Fortnite, whatever you're playing. Just listen to it in the background.
Yo, guess what, Thomas?
Yeah, what's up?
I'm in the cat clan. Am I special?
That's actually pretty cool. Like the actual cat clan is that what rank are
Yeah.
they?
I think we're like 10 right now in this clan war. I don't know.
Oh, nice, bro. All right.
That's
Well-
Thomas, get back to your podcast. I'm gonna slide in the stream.
Yeah, I'm gonna listen to your podcast.
Thank you so much. All right.
You're welcome. I love you.
Bye. All right, there we go. Now we can go back. Thank you.
All right, right. You're going to pick up on that last paragraph that you were going to read, but what'd you get banned from?
Pet Simulator.
Ouch. All right, well, we can talk about that after the.
We can talk about that later. They said they permanently banned me, and then they said no, we're gonna ban you for 3 days, and now they're saying they're gonna ban me for 7 days. They can't make up their mind.
All right, we left off on gains from value of free to repurchases, which is.
Yeah, alright. Gains from value to create purchases should be emphasized. Benefits of all owners in every respect imagine. If you will, 3 fully informed shareholders of a local auto dealership, 1 who manages the business, imagine. Further, that one of the passive owner wishes to sell his interest back into the company at a price that is attractive to the 2 continuing shareholders. When completed, has the transaction harmed anyone? Is the manager somehow favored over the continuing passive owners? Has the public been hurt? Hey, how we doing, chat? How we doing, Avoid Zachary? I don't know how to say your name, but welcome.
Chat is too small for me to see, so I can't really.
Yeah, I'll just be the chat guy. I mean, I'm the chat reader anyway. I'm better at reading the chat. You're better at reading the letter anyway. All right.
All right, so what would you answer to his questions in the letter?
Well, I don't think any person's really been hurt because, well, if the person just wants out and doesn't want to be a business owner, well, if they stay in and they just complain all the time, that would be bad. So instead, they sell it at a good price, and then it's a win for the other two shareholders. Or if I don't know if the company is public at this point, but if they're not, then it's a win for the two owners, and it's just a win-win-win situation in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with you. All right, I'm going to continue. When you are told that all repurchases are harmful to shareholders or to the country or particularly benefit CEOs, you are listening to either an economic illiterate or a silver-tongued demagogue, characters that are not mutually exclusive. So I think Warren's addressing here. There, at the time of this letter, or right before this letter, I think there was some talk in the media about how share repurchases were some harmful to the country or whatever. But Warren's saying that is not true as long as the repurchases are done at a fair price. Anyway.
Hey, at Nanable, if you get my server back, we'll talk again, okay? But if my server is gone, then I don't want to work with you, okay, Nanable? Because he's the guy who deleted my server or banned everybody in it. It's there. Well, can you give it to me back? Because if not, then I don't want to work with you. Alright. Check it. You have to give me the invite link. Oh shoot. I accidentally clicked. Where were we?
Yeah, I was skipping ahead too, so I have to go back.
Oh, we're at K33, right?
Yeah. Page,
Okay, I have it back. Thank you.
shall I keep reading?
Yeah, keep reading. I like...
What are you working on?
Discord stuff, because my Discord got banned, but apparently it didn't.
Well, we got about halfway through the letter. Should we call it there, or
No, let's keep going.
Okay.
Can you see the
Well,
letter though, or no?
I don't. I have it on my. I have it in front of me.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna listen. I just have to do a little bit in the background.
Okay. How much more do you have to do in the background?
Probably like 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes? Oh my goodness. Well, I kind of want to have you focus with me on it while I read, because if I read it and your focus is elsewhere, then it's not as valuable.
Alrighty, well, I still want you to read it, though. Or do you want... I mean, I guess I can just go through the 5 minutes right now. Oh, actually, it's like 1 more minute.
Well, okay, I can read. This next paragraph isn't vital, so if you are listening to it, it's fine. I don't think there's any gem of wisdom in this particular paragraph. I'll go ahead and read it, because I read ahead. Anyway, almost endless details of Berkshire's 2022 operation are laid out on pages K33 through K66. We aren't going to cover those pages in this podcast, but some future time we may look at those things. Charlie and I, along with many Berkshire shareholders, enjoy poring over the many facts and figures laid out in that section. These pages are not, however, required. There are many Berkshire centimillionaires, yes, billionaires, who have never studied our financial figures. They simply know that Charlie and I, along with our families and close friends, continue to have very significant investments in Berkshire. And they trust us to treat their money as we do our own. And that is the promise we can make. So, I think it would be valuable to pour over those figures, but not on this podcast. Some other time. Do I have even 10% of your attention?
Not right now. Sorry, I got a little distracted. Give me a sec. Just give me one more minute, actually. All right.
I'll put the phone here.
All right, guys. Join up my Discord server. Thank you. Why can't I pin my own message? Okay, whatever. Alrighty. Alright, now I'm ready. I'm ready now. Okay, just reread it. Sorry, that's my bad. Just reread it.
Oh, alright. I was eating a drink, so. Almost endless. Are you there with me? Almost endless details. Do you see that?
Almost endless details.
It looks like you're still.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna just read it. Okay. So I'm focused. Almost endless details of Berkshire's 22 operations are laid out on pages K33 through K66. Charlie and I, along with many Berkshire shareholders, enjoy poring over the many facts and figures laid out in the section. These pages are, however, not required reading. There are many Berkshire centimillionaires and billionaires who have never studied our financial figures. They simply know Charlie, along I with our family and close friends, continue to have significant investments. Berkshire, they trust us to treat them with money as we do our own.
And that is a promise we can make. That's what it says in that part.
Alright, I might do the form after the stream, okay? Maybe. I'll consider it, chat.
The form? What's the form?
It's just something I need to do. I'm not gonna add you on Discord because of what you did, but we can still talk because you call me a little bit too much, bro. And I'm still a little frustrated with you, but I'm a lot less frustrated. Okay, thank you. Alrighty, let's go back. Okay, I'm focused again.
All right. You read the Warren was saying that he and Charlie, along with their family friends, continue to have very significant investments in Berkshire, and that they trust that their friends and family trust Charlie and he to treat their
so
money.
basically they want to make sure that everybody who invests in the company, they want to treat the money like it's their own or their family's money. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. All right. That is a promise we can make. All right. I'll continue.
Yes.
Finally, an important warning. Even the operating earnings figure that we favor can easily be manipulated by managers who wish to do so. Such tampering is often thought of as sophisticated by CEOs, directors, and their advisors. Reporters and analysts embrace its existence as well, beating, quote, expectations, unquote, is heralded as a managerial triumph. That activity is disgusting. It requires no talent to manipulate numbers. Only a desire to deceive is required. Bold imaginative accounting, as the CEO once described his deception to me, has become one of the shames of capitalism. So just briefly, early in the letter, he was talking about how he favors operating earnings over the generally accepted accounting principles, earnings that are required to report. But here he's just saying that even those operating earnings can be manipulated by managers who want to manipulate it. Okay,
Right.
you want to read the next?
No, you can't be mod in the chat, unfortunately, bro. But you can feel free to be a viewer and enjoy our live stream. And well, if you don't enjoy it, then it is what it is. Wait, where did you go, Dad?
I'm eating.
Oh, you're eating. Okay. In 1965, you didn't read this part, right? Sorry.
You're right. Yeah, right. Go ahead.
In 1965, Berkshire was one tricky pony, the owner of a venerable but doomed New England textile operation. With that business on a death march, Berkshire needed an immediate fresh start. Looking back, I was slow to recognize the severity of its problems. And then came a stroke of good luck. National indemnities became available in 1967, and we shifted our resources towards insurance and non-textile operations. Thus began...
You know what? Let me interrupt you. Do you know what textile operations are?
It's kind of like construction, right?
No, clothing.
Clothing, okay.
Fabric. Anyway, go ahead.
Let's see.
Thus began our journey.
Thus began our journey to 2023. A bumpy road involving a combination of continuous saving by our owners, that is, by their retaining earnings, the power of compounding our avoidance of major mistakes, and most important of all, the America tailwind. America would have done fine without Berkshire. The reverse is not true.
Okay, you want me to continue?
Yeah.
Berkshire now enjoys major ownership in an unmatched collection of huge, diversified businesses. Let's first look at 5,000 or so publicly held companies that trade daily on NASDAQ, the New York Stock Exchange, and related venues. Within this group is housed the members of the S&P 500 Index, elite collection of large, well-known American companies. In aggregate, the 500 earned $1.8 trillion in 2021. I don't yet have the final results for 2022. Using, therefore, the 2021 figures, only 128 of the 500, including Berkshire itself, earned $3 billion or more. Indeed, 23 lost money. At year-end 2022, Berkshire was the largest owner of 8 of these giants: American Express, Bank of America, Chevron, Coca-Cola, HP Inc., Moody's, Occidental Petroleum, and Paramount Global.
All right, let's stop there. So these are their biggest companies right now?
These are
For, like, stock?
pretty much, yeah. Berkshire is the largest owner of 8 of the 108 or 28 companies that earn $1 billion or more.
Answer me. No, I already gave you my answer on that decision. I will think about it. You have to give me time to think. If not, then I'll just time you out on the chat. I'm actually put this guy in timeout, sorry. Because I don't want to hear your chat right now. Alright. Thank you. Alrighty. Let's see. In addition to those 8 investees, Berkshire owns 100% of BNF and 92% of BH Energy, with earnings that exceed $3 billion. Mark noted $5.9 billion at BNFS and 4.3 billion of at BHE were these companies publicly owned. They would replace 2 present members of the 500, told our 10 controlling and non-controllable behemoths leave Berkshire and Hathaway more broadly aligned to the country's economic future that is any other case U.S. company. This calculation leaves a fiduciary operation such as pension funds and investment companies. Fiduciary means like money, right? Money calculation? Or like money responsibility?
Yeah, it's more about the responsibility. A fiduciary is someone responsible to act in the best interest of another person. And usually it means the economic best interest.
Yeah.
But you can look it up. You can look it up and see what it means. I mean, might as well. See how close my definition comes to.
I don't think we need to look it up. I think I understand it enough. In addition,
Wait a second. Maybe we should talk about this offline. But like, did they not teach you the meaning of fiduciary in one of the part-time jobs that you have?
They did, but I still didn't really understand it 100%.
Okay, so like when that happens to me, I find you know who Richard Feynman is, right?
Yeah.
One of the things he said was the best way to know that you understand something is to teach it to somebody else.
Okay.
And there was a time when I was studying by myself, and it was just fast for me to just imagine it to somebody else.
Yeah.
When I learned something, I was like, oh, this is something I want to remember, or this is something I want to understand and remember. Then I would just imagine I was teaching it to somebody else. And if it wasn't clear to that imaginary person, I'd be like, okay, well, I need to understand it so well that I can explain it so simply that whoever I explain it to will understand it too. So what I'm saying is, that's something that I'm suggesting you could do too. Like when you're learning something, and you want to understand it and remember it and know that you understand it, then either teach it to somebody else, or imagine you're teaching it to somebody else, and that will help you. Okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Let's see. I'll read this last part. As for future Berkshire,
I think we skipped a sentence. In addition, Berkshire's insurance operation that was conducted through many individually managed.
Yeah. How about you just read this part?
NSF. You want me to read the next part too?
Yeah.
As for the future, Berkshire will always hold a boatload of cash in U.S. Treasury bills, along with a wide array of businesses. We'll also avoid behavior that could result in any uncomfortable cash needs. All right. Including financial panics and unprecedented insurance losses. Our CEO will always be the chief risk officer, a task that is irresponsible to delegate. Additionally, our future CEOs will have a significant part of their net worth in Berkshire shares, bought with their own money. And yes, our shareholders will continue to save and prosper by retaining earnings. At Berkshire, there will be no finish line. I don't have any comments about that. You want to continue?
Yeah. Oh wait, for the 32 trillion. Right, that's where we're at. Sorry.
Yes, some surprising facts about federal taxes.
Yeah. Oh wait, I scrolled too much. Oh my goodness. Okay. During the wait, what happened to my camera? Is my camera still there? Or your camera went off, Dad? Hello? Okay. I'll keep reading while my dad figures out his camera issue. During the decade in 2021, the United States Treasury received about $32.3 trillion in taxes, while it spent $49.3 trillion. Through economics, politicians, and many of the public opinions about consequences of that huge imbalance, Charlie and I led ignorance and firmly believe that near-term economic and market forecasts are worse than useless. our jobs is to manage Berkshire's operation and finance it manner that will achieve an acceptable result over time and will preserve the company's unmatched staying of power. And when financial panic or severe worldwide recessions occur, Berkshire also offers some of modest protections from runaway inflation, but this is attributed from far from perfect. Huge and enrichment fiducial deficits have consequences. Okay, where did my dad go? I'm gonna call my dad really quick. He went away. Alright, I gotta find my phone first. You there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good. Alrighty, you kind of glitched out.
Oh, it said you dropped. I've been here the whole time.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. It said you dropped on my end. We're back, though.
Okay.
Alright. I read the surprising facts while you're gone. But do you want to reread it?
What'd you read? The whole section?
All the way to the stars, yeah.
No, we don't have to read. I've read it all before. I've read this letter before.
Okay.
I'll just-
Well, actually,
obviously-
I didn't finish this last part. And that means brace yourself. Had there been roughly 1,000 taxpayers in the U.S. matching Berkshire and Hathaway payments, no other business nor country with 131 million households would need to pay any of the taxes to the federal government. Not a dime. Oh, wow. That's interesting.
That's amazing, isn't it? That they pay that much in taxes.
Yeah. Yeah, Yusuf 3D plays. How we doing? I recognize your name. It's been a long time since you've been in here. And since I've streamed on this channel. So yeah. What about you? We're doing great. We're doing the live stream, and it's just it's a good time, and we're learning financial knowledge. So yeah. I have a Discord now, so yeah, if you guys want to join the Discord, let's get into this. You're a moderator on the TnT channel. Sure, be a moderator here as well. Alrighty. Alright, we're ready for the next section.
I like this next section. So imagine in your mind what he's talking about here.
Okay.
Millions, billions, trillions. We all know the words, but the sums involved are almost impossible to comprehend. Let's put physical dimensions to the number. If you convert $1 million into newly printed $100 bills, you will have a stack that reaches your chest. All right, let's see you stand up, Thomas, and point to your chest.
So $1 million would get up to, like, up. Wait, let me adjust the camera a little bit. Like up here?
Yeah.
Wow.
Newly printed $100 bills. Okay. Perform the same exercise with $1 billion. This is getting exciting. The stack reaches about 3/4 of a mile into the sky.
Oh my goodness. So that's basically how far helicopters go up, or when they first start flying.
Finally, imagine piling up $32 billion total of Berkshire's 2012-2021 federal income tax payment. Now the stack grows to more than 21 miles in height.
Wow. How tall is Mount Everest?
About 5 miles.
All right, so it's taller than Mount Everest, guys.
And he says that's about 3 times the level at which commercial airplanes usually cruise. When it comes to federal taxes, individuals who own Berkshire can unequivocally state, I get at the offer. I'm going to keep reading. At Berkshire, we
Wait,
hope
I
and
wanted to
expect...
read this part.
Oh, okay. Good.
Okay. At Berkshire, we hope and expect to pay much more in taxes during the next decade. We owe the country no less. America's dynastyism.
Dynamism.
What does that mean?
Dynamism is like active, but like vigorous activity, like it's dynamic.
Yeah, everybody should be unbanned from the Discord. Yeah, he has made a huge contribution to whatever success Berkshire has achieved, a contribution that we'll always need. We count on the American tailwind, and though it has been acclaimed for time to time...
Be calmed. Be calmed.
Be calmed. What does that mean?
To be calm.
Be calm. Okay. From time to time, its propelling force has always returned. I have been investing for 80 years, more than 1/3 of our country lifetime, despite our citizens'
Penchant.
Is that like retirement thingy?
No, penchant is like a desire. When you have a penchant, it means you have a liking or a longing.
Oh, I thought it was like a pension, which is different than pension. Okay.
Yeah.
Almost enthusiasm for self-criticism, self-doubt. And self-doubt. I have yet to see a time when it has made sense to make a long-term bet against America. I doubt very much that any reader of this letter will have a different experience in the future.
Okay, so he's saying he wouldn't bet. All right, I'll continue.
Yeah.
Nothing beats having a great partner. Charlie and I think pretty much alike. But what it takes me a page to explain, he sums up in a sentence. Of course, he's gone now, so this is I don't know what to comment on that, but he's going to give some quotes by Charlie or some of his thoughts. Anyway, so he's saying, Charlie and I think pretty much alike, but what it takes me a page to explain, he sums up in a sentence. His version, moreover, is always more clearly reasoned and also more artfully, some might add bluntly, stated. Here are a few of his thoughts, many lifted from a very recent podcast. Oh, Charlie's doing podcasts too?
Yeah.
The world is full of foolish gamblers, and they will not do as well as the patient investor.
Hey, what we've learned is very rich people like to do podcasts. Ooh.
If you don't see the world the way it is, it's like judging something through a distorted lens. I said something similar to that not long ago. All I want to know is where I'm going to die, so I'll never go there. And a related thought, early on write your desired obituary and then behave accordingly. I think that was also in the book 7 Habits for a Highly Effective People.
Sure,
If you don't
Sure.
If you don't care whether you are rational or not, you won't work on it. Then you will stay irrational and get lousy results. Patience can be learned. Having a long attention span and the ability to concentrate on one thing for a long time is a huge advantage. You can learn a lot from dead people. Read of the deceased you admire and detest. Don't bail away in a sinking boat if you can swim to one that is seaworthy. A great company keeps working after you are not. A mediocre company won't do that. Warren and I don't focus on the froth of the market. We seek out good long-term investments and stubbornly hold them for a long time. Ben Graham said, day-to-day, the stock market is a voting machine. In the long term, it's a weighing machine. If you keep making something more valuable, then some wise person is going to notice it and start buying. Earlier in the podcast, I expressed that sentiment quite distinctly. There is no
What
such
were you
thing
saying?
as
It
one-
cut out. It cut out. Early in the podcast, and it cut out.
I said something similar to this, that the stock market is a voting machine in the short term, but it's a weighing machine in the long term.
Yeah, you did say so. Yeah.
Anyway, there's no such thing as a 100% sure thing when investing. Thus, the use of leverage is dangerous. A string of wonderful numbers times zero will always equal zero. Don't count on getting rich twice. You used some leverage years ago when you started investing in the stock market, and it didn't go well for you. Remember that?
Oh yeah, didn't go so well. I mean, yeah. I mean, sometimes it can be good, sometimes it can be a bad thing, but yeah. Why don't I have membership or super chat on this channel? This channel's not monetized yet, and we're trying to get this channel remonetized again due to the fact that most of the channel subscribers from YouTube Shorts, and but if we do podcasts consistently on this channel, we'll start making ad revenue, and we're doing this for fun right now, and we're doing this to learn knowledge and build up a fan base, so we don't really care about the money on this channel. So yeah.
I'm going to finish this section. You don't, however, need to own a lot of things in order to get. You have to keep learning if you want to become a great investor. When the world changes, you must change. Warren and I hated railroad stocks for decades. The world changed. Finally, the country had 4 huge railroads of vital importance to the American economy. We were slow to recognize the change, but better late than never. Finally, I will add 2 short sentences by Charlie that have been his decision clincher for decades. Warren, think more about it. You're smart. I'm right. I think that's very funny. Like,
What did you say? I think what?
So, the last bullet point here says, Charlie used to say, Warren, think more about it. You're smart, and I'm right.
I like that.
And so it goes. I never have a phone call with Charlie without learning something. And while he makes me think, he also makes me laugh.
That's how I feel with William sometimes. You're smart and I'm right, or you're right and I'm smart.
Wait, so which one's which?
It's a little bit of both. It depends on the phone
it's a little
call.
bit of both. Okay, very good. Well, then Warren says, I will add.
Hey, wait. We got a verified YouTuber. You're so funny. I'm 100% laughing my butt off. I'm glad you think that. Alright, and that's a verified YouTuber. Let's check out his channel really quick. Sorry I interrupt you a little bit sometimes, Dad. It's just, this is how YouTube works. Okay. Alright, let's go to the channel really quick. See who this guy is.
When I go off camera, it's because I'm eating.
All good. Alright,
I know the mukbang
channel.
content is I know the mukbang content is popular, but
You prefer not to.
well, I think I need to look back and see how I look when I eat before I put it out there to the world.
I mean, understandable.
Just in case it's an unwatchable mess.
No, it doesn't look that bad. Like, what? Yeah. Okay, where did you go? Ah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, you're a verified YouTuber.
Yeah, we got a verified YouTuber in the chat. So yeah. Alrighty. Now we can go back. Now I'm focused again.
I will add to Charlie's list a rule of my own. Find a very smart, high-grade partner, preferably slightly older than you, and then listen very carefully to what he says.
Yeah.
Is William older than you? Or are you older than him?
I'm older than William. By 2 months.
All right. You want to read the next part?
Not really. My voice kind of hurts a little bit, so I need to drink some more water, and then I'll be prepared.
All right. Can you read along with me? I'll read it.
Yeah.
A family gathering in Omaha. Charlie and I are shameless. Last year, at our first shareholder get-together in 3 years, we greeted you with our usual commercial hustle. From the opening bell, we went straight for your wallet. Short order, our C's kiosk sold you 11 tons of nourishing peanut brittle and chocolate. Nourishing peanut brittle and chocolate. In our PT Barnum pitch, we promised you longevity. After all, what else but candy from C's could account for Charlie and me making it to 99 and 92? I know you can't wait to hear the specifics of last year's.
Wait, let's pause. Wait, so
Berkshire Hathaway owns C's Candy.
Ah, okay. That makes sense. Okay, I get it.
And at the annual meeting last year, they sold candy. 11 tons of it. On Friday, the doors were open from noon until 5 p.m. and our candy counters rang up 2,690 individual sales. On Saturday, C's registered an additional 3,931 transactions between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. despite the fact that 6.5 of the 9.5 operating hours occurred while our movie and the question and answer session were limiting commercial traffic. Do the math. C's rang up about 10 sales per minute during its prime operating time, racking up $400,309 of volume during the 2 days. With all the goods purchased at a single location selling products that haven't been materially altered in 101 years. What worked for C's in the days of Henry Ford's Model T works now. Charlie, I, and the entire Berkshire bunch look forward to seeing you in Omaha on May 5th through the 6th. We will have a good time, and so will you. February 25th, 2023, Warren E. Buffett, Chairman of the Board. And that's the end of the letter. So,
Alrighty.
I would expect that this was the 2022 letter. I would expect the 2023 letter
to come out in February.
Well, somewhere around there, yeah.
February or March.
Yeah. Definitely before May.
Yeah. Alright, well, thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you. I mean, we had a decent attendance. How many do we have currently? Let's see. Alright, we got 6 likes this stream. We have 3 watching. We had a verified YouTuber show up in our chat, and we got 44 views. I think this was a successful first live stream. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, you're the expert in the space, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, 7 likes. I mean, thank you guys so much. If you guys are watching this not live, well, thank you. And if you saw this from a YouTube Shorts, also, thank you for watching our clips. And have a good one, and peace.